Okay, so on this edition of WTF FML, we are going to talk about some serious things, some really serious things, things that, oh, really, well, most of you probably will find grotesque, and your brain just won't consciously be able to go there. But, okay, so take existence, take matter. Okay, we're all matter, right? Everything that exists in the world is simply matter. We somehow happen to be conscious matter, and that baffles me. It really does. How can matter become conscious? Wow. Humans are conscious matter? It's crazy. Because in a way, we're not. I mean, we still do the same things that every other creature does that is matter that exists, right? I mean, we fuck and we have babies and families, and then we die, and then our babies live on to do the same thing time and time and time and time again. But there's also a separation, right? So, for instance, take a rat, right? Take a rat. A rat is something that nobody wants to have around, right? It's like there's a rat in my home. What do? You capture it and you kill it, and you send it on its way, chuck it over the fence. Maybe if you're kind, you give it a little funeral and bury it and plant some flowers on top of it, just because you feel bad about killing something. But this is related to the fact that I found a big rat in the adjacent little room down below here, and so my cat killed a rat, and it's a big fucker. It's so big, I felt pretty bad for it because it was basically so big that it kind of resembled a small puppy. That's how big it was, and it's so I mean like this large, minus without the tail, this big, and then the tail was another 6, probably about 13 inches long. And so we've got easy, right? Rat, kill it. It's called a rodent. There's a reason we've given them the designation of rodent, because we said we don't like these things in our life, and so therefore we'll call it rodent. It's an interesting idea the way that names and designations came along, because did a rat come along and we said, oh hey, you look like, your beady eyes and you do these things? No, we just group them, right? Conveniently group them into a category called rodent, and all rodents can be killed because, after all, they're a rodent. And so we deliberately make these designations. We build these words based upon what we would like to do to them. We'd like for them not to exist. So they say, well, they're a rodent, and then we need to call the pest guy, or the pest, right? Rodent, pest guy, and eliminate these rodents from my life because I can't deal with rodents in my life. Wait, though. That rat that my cat just killed, it was so huge, probably had a family, didn't it? Probably had a family. It was probably the mother, just this gigantic, huge mother rat. Maybe she just gave birth. And then maybe there's some other rats just outside the building. I don't think they're in my house. I really don't. And so they're just outside there. And then so this big fat mother rat was trying to come in and get some food, and the cat killed the rat. Well, and that's great, because most people will be like, well, the rat's dead. Brilliant. God. Oh, this cat is great. Well, the rat has children too, and they're probably like tiny, screaming at this point, if they're not already dead. Screaming, saying, Mommy, Mommy, bring me something. I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. Most of our things that we do in daily life aren't really conscious. For instance, the fact of eating food. Is it really like a conscious thing? Like we're just like, oh, hey. Oh, I think I want food. It's not really of the brain, it's of the body. So you can't say that rats are bad in that way, because they're just matter too, and they're beings, sort of. And so then that leaves the little rats to fend for themselves, and then they just die. They just die. We don't care. We don't have to see it, right? It's not on Discovery Channel. We don't have to see the cameraman peering into the little rat cave of baby rats and having them be like, I need some food, and if I don't, I'm gonna die. And then the director says to the little baby rats, well, your mother was dead. It was killed by a cat. And Jesse just pitched it over the fence because it was dead, with the shovel. And I guess that leaves you little bastards to fend for yourselves. How's that going to work out? It's not, because we don't know how to yet. And so they die. And so they die. It'd be sort of like humans if another ultra conscious, right? Ultra conscious and sophisticated civilization came down to Earth They'd be like, oh, what are these humans? Let's toy with them a little bit. Let's see what they're all about. Smash them or whatever. I mean, they can't possibly be on the plane of existence that we are. We're much smarter than those petty humans. Those petty humans. And so, anyways, it's crazy. So, WTF, FML, if we're all matter, we're kind of really all the same in a way, other than despite the fact that humans do have consciousness. Well, some humans. Most humans is sort of like feigned consciousness, like they think that they're conscious because their brain is aware of what their body wants. But does that really make a human conscious? And so, I don't know. It's weird, you know. And we all suffer the same fate, right? And so, you're lying on a bed and you've got some mice and some rats and some beetles and some potato bugs, some earwigs, some spiders, some flies. Ooh, it's very gross to think about, isn't it? Ooh, God, I don't know. Ick. These are things apart from me. It's different forms of matter. I can't take different forms of matter. Well, it's all the same thing. Whatever. And the problem is, here's the problem, is killing a necessity? It kind of is, isn't it? Like throughout the animal kingdom, killing is a necessity for your own survival. Which just makes it a fucked up world, because that means that there can't possibly be any real idea of altruism. About wanting to be kind, about understanding, about wanting to protect your fellow matter. How can I protect my fellow matter? There's so much of it, and in so many different forms. Because I really don't want to go to bed with earwigs and potato bugs and spiders and flies and rats and mice and squirrels and raccoon. I don't want them all in my bed, but they are, kind of. I mean, they're all in my life, right here, right now. All of them. The raccoons fight. My cats have even tried to tangle with a raccoon. Bad idea. How do you make sense of anything? How do you make sense of it? And I think that I guess it's a tie-in to Brooklyn's Finest, the movie that's come out. I know that's a stretch. You'll watch and be like, well, it's crime and not crime, but I'll make that leap to just existing as matter. That's what I chalk it up to. Yeah, that's what I chalk it up to. Existing as matter. How do you get out of being matter, killing other matter, to survive? Because we all want to survive, and in order to survive, we've got to do things to survive, and that's usually, a lot of those things aren't really very pleasant. And, yeah, I don't know, you can't have your cake and eat it too, you can't, I don't know. It's difficult to live. It's difficult to live and understand the process of living. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's very difficult to be a human and understand what makes you human, because all of those understandings makes it very unpleasant to be a human. Unless you're a non-thinker, in which case that makes existence and living just brilliant, because then it just becomes about you, and you don't think about anything else, and it's just dandy, right? Great. Okay. Oh, also, ellipsetera. Man, who was that? Anyways, carved in the dirt on my truck with their finger. Who was that? It's got to be like one of three people. Not that many people really know me, so it's got to be like one of three. What? Oh, and no, the kid's not mine. I just liked him. Maybe I wanted him to be mine because I understood him. Yeah. Ghostface Killer. Nice stuff. Very good. I thought that was a very good performance. Cool. Well, I'm not actually here. I'm not actually here. I'm walking along the ocean, smoking a J, drinking a bottle of wine. Yeah, I've learned to transcend space and time. Speaking of transcending time, we all do it, right? Because when gravity happens, when things are working on us, time seems to slow down, big time. Like when there's pressures, it's like, it's only been like 3 hours since I've been up. I feel like I've been up since 1884. It's been 3 hours since I've been up. I've been up for 130 years. Are you kidding me? I'm serious. I think time